Imagine for a moment that someone steals your digital password. It's a nuisance, sure, but the solution is simple. You reset it, and within seconds, the threat is neutralized. Now imagine someone steals your face, or your fingerprints, or the very sequence of your DNA. You can't exactly reset your biology. For decades, we were told that the digitization of human identity was the ultimate answer to the fragility of digital security. We moved away from something you know, passwords and pens that could be phished or forgotten, toward something you are. It was a promise of a future where security was seamless and the user was the key. But in our rush for convenience, we have stumbled into a biometric blind spot. This is a profound systemic vulnerability where the permanence and uniqueness of our biological data, once our greatest defense, have become our most irrevocable liability. The allure of biometrics is easy to understand. You can't leave your fingerprint at home like a hardware token, and you can't forget your face like a complex alphanumeric string. But this immutability creates a terrifying paradox. While a password is a secret, your biometric traits are essentially public identifiers. We leave fingerprints on every glass we touch. Our faces are captured by high-resolution cameras in public spaces every single day. Security architectures treat these traits as secret keys, but in reality, they function more like usernames. If a hacker steals a database of facial recognition templates, those identities remain compromised for the lifetime of the victims. This is the master key effect. A breach in a low-security application like a gym membership app can permanently compromise high-security assets like your banking portal or government ID because you're using the same biological input for both. The threat isn't just theoretical, it's being weaponized right now by the adversarial revolution. For years, we thought biometrics were secure because fabricating a physical copy of a human trait was difficult. But generative AI has changed the game. Researchers have developed deep master prints, which are essentially the biometric version of a dictionary attack, using generative adversarial networks. AI can evolve synthetic fingerprint images that contain generic features found in a massive percentage of the population. Because smartphone sensors often capture only partial scans for the sake of speed, these master prints can successfully spoof systems up to 77% of the time. Our unique identifiers are being reduced to statistical commonalities that AI can optimize and exploit. Even more sophisticated are digital injection attacks. We've seen this play out in massive financial frauds like the $138 million heist in Indonesia. Attackers didn't just hold a photo up to a camera, they bypassed the camera lens entirely. They used virtual software to inject real-time AI-animated deepfake video streams directly into the application's data pipeline. This renders traditional liveness detection, the software that asks you to blink or turn your head, completely ineffective. The image isn't being recorded from a screen, it's being fed as raw data, making the forgery nearly indistinguishable from reality. As we look deeper, the biometric blind spot reaches into our very cells. The explosion of the direct-to-consumer genetic testing market has created centralized databases of our most intimate information. The 2023 23andMe breach is a stark warning. By compromising just a few accounts through credential stuffing, attackers were able to scrape the genetic data of nearly 7 million people by exploiting relative finder features. This data doesn't just expire. It creates long-tail risks that could last for decades. We are facing the potential rise of a genetic underclass, where leaked DNA data is used by insurers to deny life or disability coverage based on your predisposition for Alzheimer's or heart disease. Your biological blueprint, once a private map of your heritage, could become a transferable asset sold in a bankruptcy proceeding to the highest bidder. On a geopolitical scale, this is a crisis of statcraft. When the U.S. Office of Personnel Management was breached in 2015, over 5 million sets of fingerprints were stolen. Experts estimate the fallout of this single breach will span 40 years. Why? Because if an intelligence officer travels under a cover identity, their fingerprints remain the same. An adversary can simply cross-reference their biometrics against the stolen OPM database and instantly unmask them. This is the end of anonymity. Companies like Clearview AI have already scraped 20 billion images from the public internet, creating a searchable face engine that effectively ends the concept of being a stranger in a crowd. And the technology is becoming even more visible. We are seeing the rise of ambient surveillance, where standard Wi-Fi signals are used like radar to identify individuals by their gait or body shape, even through walls. Researchers have even demonstrated the ability to snoop on what you are typing just by analyzing how your hand movements disturb the Wi-Fi signals in the room. You don't have to log in for your biometrics to be harvested. Your body is constantly broadcasting its identity to the environment. So, how do we close this blind spot? We have to fundamentally re-evaluate our relationship with biological data. First, we must stop using biometrics as a single factor of authentication. They should be treated as a username, while high security access must always require a second non-biological factor like a hardware key. Second, we need to move toward cancelable biometrics. This involves intentionally distorting a biometric image using a mathematical function before it's stored. If the database is stolen, the distorted template is useless, and a new one can be generated using a different function. It effectively reintroduces revocability to our biology. The convenience of unlocking your life with a glance has come at the cost of creating an attack surface that can never be closed. As generative AI makes sensory reality malleable, we can no longer rely on our physical selves as absolute proof of identity. We must treat biometric data like toxic waste, hazardous to hold, expensive to clean up, and something that should only be collected when absolutely necessary. The question for all of us is, are we willing to sacrifice our long-term privacy for short-term convenience? If you found this deep dive into the future of digital identity helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the tech that's shaping our world. I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you worried about your biometric data being out there? Or do you think the security benefits still outweigh the risks? Let's start a conversation. Thanks for